Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English Flow Podcast, the podcast that helps you speak English fluently and confidently. I'm your host, Jenny, and today we're tackling a big challenge that many English learners face: how to speak without pausing too much. If you often find yourself searching for words or struggling to keep a conversation flowing, don't worry. You're not alone. And the good news? There are practical techniques you can use to fix this problem and start speaking more smoothly. By the end of this episode, you'll have all the tools you need to keep conversations going without awkward silences. So, let's get started. Pausing too much when speaking English happens for many reasons. Sometimes, we think in our native language first and try to translate every word before speaking, which slows us down. Other times, we struggle to find the right vocabulary, causing hesitation. And for many learners, the biggest obstacle is the fear of making mistakes. Worrying about grammar, pronunciation, or how we sound can make us freeze mid-sentence. But here's the truth. Pauses are normal, even for native speakers. The key is learning how to minimize them and speak with confidence. One of the best techniques to stop translating in your head is to think in English. This may seem difficult at first, but start small. Describe what you see around you in English, plan your daily tasks using English phrases, or even talk to yourself in English. The more you do this, the more natural it will feel, and the faster your speech will become. A great exercise is setting a timer for 1 minute and challenging yourself to talk about any topic without stopping. At first, it might be tough, but with daily practice, you'll notice significant improvement. Expanding your vocabulary naturally is another way to reduce pauses. Instead of memorizing single words, learn phrases and word clusters. For example, if you learn the word travel, also learn expressions like book a flight, pack a suitcase, and explore new places. This way, when you talk about travel, the words will come out naturally, without pausing to think about each one. Another helpful strategy is to practice common sentence patterns. Many everyday conversations follow predictable structures, so learning them in advance can help you respond quickly and smoothly. Now, let's talk about filler words. Native speakers use them all the time. Words like, well, you know, actually, and let me think help fill the gaps while you gather your thoughts. Instead of staying silent when you're thinking of what to say next, try using a filler word to keep the conversation flowing. This will make your speech sound more natural and fluent. Another powerful technique is shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say immediately, mimicking their tone, rhythm, and speed. Shadowing helps train your mouth and brain to process English faster, making speaking much smoother over time. Another great way to train your brain for quicker responses is by practicing question and answer drills. Find a list of common questions such as, what do you do for work? Or, what's your favorite food? And challenge yourself to answer quickly without overthinking. You can even record yourself answering and listen back to identify areas where you pause too much. This will help you gain confidence and improve your fluency. Finding a speaking partner is one of the best ways to practice reducing pauses. Conversations with real people force you to think on your feet, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become. If you don't have someone to practice with, Language exchange apps or online speaking groups can be a great solution. Additionally, recording yourself speaking on a topic for a few minutes each day can help you track your progress and build fluency over time. Confidence is the final key to speaking without pausing. The biggest reason people hesitate is fear of making mistakes. But here's a secret. Mistakes are part of learning. Instead of aiming for perfection, focus on communication. The more you speak, the better you'll get. Even native speakers make mistakes and correct themselves, so don't be too hard on yourself. The goal is to express your ideas clearly, not to be perfect. One of the most important aspects of fluency is rhythm and intonation. When you speak in a monotone or with uneven pacing, your speech may sound unnatural. Practicing with native speakers or mimicking the way they talk can help you develop a more natural flow. Watch movies or listen to podcasts in English, focusing not just on the words, but also on the way sentences rise and fall. Copy the way they stress important words and pause naturally. This will make your speech more dynamic and engaging, reducing unnecessary pauses. Another useful exercise is storytelling. Pick a topic, a personal story, or an experience, and try to tell it in English without stopping. Start with simple stories and gradually increase their complexity. When you practice storytelling, you're forcing your brain to think ahead and structure sentences smoothly. If you find yourself getting stuck, simplify the sentence instead of stopping. This technique helps train your brain to work under pressure while maintaining fluency. Practicing with a mirror can also be incredibly helpful. Stand in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself in English. This allows you to observe your facial expressions, body language, and mouth movements, making you more aware of your speaking habits. It can also boost your confidence by making speaking English feel more natural and less intimidating. An overlooked but effective strategy is reading aloud. Pick a book, an article, or even song lyrics and read them out loud. This helps you practice pronunciation, pacing, and sentence flow. To take it a step further, try reading aloud while recording yourself. Listen back and identify areas where you hesitate or sound unnatural, then work on improving those parts. Another great way to keep your English flowing is by immersing yourself in the language as much as possible. Change your phone and social media settings to English, watch TV shows and movies in English, and try to think in English throughout the day. The more exposure you have to the language, the more natural it will feel, making it easier to speak without pausing. Lastly, relaxation is key. Many people pause too much because they feel nervous or pressured to speak perfectly. Try relaxation techniques such as deep breathing before speaking and remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. The more relaxed you are, the smoother your speech will be. All right, my friends, that's all for today's episode. I hope these tips help you speak English more fluently and confidently. Remember, practice, consistency, and a little bit of courage will take you far. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with fellow learners. Until next time, happy listening and happy learning. Bye for now.